Hi guys. Lucky interrupted my live stream. She jumped on the keyboard, and I saw something appearing, and I saw a little frame which said, "Are you sure you want to leave this page?" And she accidentally clicked yes. So here I am again with a new live stream. I'm sorry, Alexander. I'm hoping the people who already joined the live stream can rejoin us here. I'm hoping that they will find us. So I'm kind of waiting. I'm hoping Athena will rejoin us as well as I was answering her question. Hi, Jane. Welcome back. I'm so sorry for the interruption. That can happen when you are live with your barn owl. She's a spoiled little brat, isn't she? Please, Athena, come back so I can continue answering your question. Ah, Athena, yes. No, your phone wasn't doing anything. It was Lucky. She is guilty. She jumped on my keyboard and accidentally pressed a key, and she finished the live stream. She was like, "I'm done with this. I'm way too good to be doing this." She's very active tonight. Yes, she was throwing a tantrum, Jane. Thank you for still loving Lucky, Athena. Okay, so I will continue answering your question. So, go to a local falconer and ask him or her if he or she would be willing to take you in as an official apprentice so that you can get your first falconer's degree. And then when you have your first falconer's degree, after that, you can go to the next level so that when you finish, you will be able to work with all of the birds of prey you can legally work with in your country. Um, I'd also read as many books on falconry as possible, also watch as many documentaries as possible. But I have to warn you, you have to be very critical because there are a lot of books and documentaries out there who will give the wrong information. I mean, I've even read a book in which they said that owls have crops, which is absolute bullshit. So be very critical. But there are, of course, a lot of good books out there too. And try to visit falconry demonstrations and be very attentive. Don't just be like all of the other people in the audience. Try to really observe all of the details. Try to observe how the falconers. Oh, I'm going to interrupt myself. This is panting, you guys. This is what happens when barn owls get too hot. They start to do this with their beak. And Lucky is doing this right now because she was trying to get away from the perch and she couldn't, and that was really tiring. And it's still very hot here in Belgium, so now she is too hot. Anyways, sorry that I interrupted myself. I hope you guys aren't annoyed by this. I do this a lot. It could be my ADHD doing that. But I was saying, be very critical with documentaries and videos because there are bad documentaries, videos, and books out there. And go to falconry demonstrations. And yeah, that was what I was saying. Don't be like everybody else that is in the audience, just sitting there and enjoying the show. Also, observe the falconer. For example, really pay attention to the details. When the bird is landing on the falconer's glove, what is the falconer doing? Is he securing the bird? Is he taking the jesses between his index finger and thumb? How is he handling the bird? What gestures is he doing exactly? You can learn a lot from this. Are there any is there any equipment that you've never noticed before? if you notice something strange or something that makes you curious, you after the show you can always come up to them and ask, hey, I saw that you did this or that. What does that mean? A real falconer will appreciate it if you ask such questions. They will be surprised, and you'll even impress them, and they'll be happy to answer you. So those are my tips. Hi, Loomis Bean. Loomis Bean asks, how much do you feed Lucky every day? Well, it depends. When Lucky is in training, I will have a feeding schedule for her. And then I will give her two chicks on Monday, two chicks on Tuesday, two chicks on Wednesday, uh, two chicks on Thursday, Friday, one chick, Saturday, nothing, and then Sunday, two chicks again. And then the week after that, I will give her three chicks on Monday, and then two chicks Tuesday, two chicks Wednesday, two chicks Thursday, one chick Friday, nothing on Saturday, and then uh, one chick on Sunday. It depends. Sometimes it's three 1 day old chicks in the beginning of the week, and then I stick to two chicks, and then sometimes I will even feed her only one chick 2 days in a row. It depends. It depends on what her weight is, because you have to weigh your barn owl every day to make sure it's healthy. And if it's too high in weight, then you need to lower its food intake. And if it's too low in weight, then you should feed it more. But usually, Loomis Bean, I feed Lucky two 1 day old chicks a day, usually. Oh, hi, Brianna. Brianna went to the zoo today and she saw owls. That's cool. What kind of owls? What species did you see? Oh, Victor OMG asks, Vegan, I have a question. You know how you showed the cage of Lucky? Would it be the same for a golden eagle? Um, well, the cage that I showed you in one of my videos, that wasn't really a cage. It was a transport box for cats. Um, I only put Lucky in there to transport her in the car. I never put her in there at home, or it's just for transport. So I just want to make that clear. But no, it would not be the same for for a golden eagle, because those are way bigger. The bigger the owl, the bigger their transport box needs to be. Um, you can order transport boxes for golden eagles online. So I hope that answers your question. When you want to put your bird in a transport box, the bird has to be able to stand up fully without touching the ceiling of the box. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, Victor OMG also asks, and also, would a shed with some chain windows be a perfect cage? No, Victor, you can't put an owl in a cage. You have to have a decent aviary, um, and you have to respect the official legal dimensions. Every bird species needs to have certain aviary dimensions. So you should really look that up, because the dimensions can be very different in each country. And your aviary should also be made of certain materials. It should have certain characteristics, because birds of prey need to be able to hide from humans if they would like to. They need to have a place in the shadow. Um, they need to have the opportunity to sip some water in the US if you want to put your owl in an aviary outside. They need to have the opportunity to fly, but the aviary shouldn't be too big either because they can damage their feathers if the cage is, well, the aviary is too big. So depending on what country you live in, the requirements for aviaries can be very different, and they can also be very different per species. So it's best to look that up and also look up the material you should use, because usually the law also specifies the material you can or cannot use to build an aviary. Oh, Luma's Bean asks another wow, I can't speak anymore. Asks another very interesting question. How often should you change the owl's equipment? Sirius got his off again. Oh, um, well, you have the anklets, and the anklets are um, the leather rings the owl has on its ankles, on its legs, and then these are the jesses. So the anklets, it depends on what quality the leather is. Um, I change Lookie's anklets every 2 years, so that's not very often. And the jesses, that depends on how quickly they wear off. Um, yeah, Luki is not liking the fact that she has jesses on right now. She does this sometimes, you guys. That's the only thing that bothers me about owls in captivity. It makes me question sometimes if, if it is okay. But she doesn't do this a lot. And right now, she's preening. She's not really pulling her straps. She's preening. You can see she's also preening her nails. So right now, she's not doing it out of frustration that she can't fly. I thought she was doing it because of that first, but she wasn't. Anyways, the jesses, it really depends. You should, every now and then, you should check, the jesses are connected with a swivel. And this is hard to explain, but I've made a video about how to make your own jesses. And the part of the jesses that is connected with the swivel, in that part there is an incision, so that you can wrap the jesses through and around the swivel. And as your owl flies off of the perch sometimes, and as it can pull on the jesses sometimes, the incision will start to stretch. And if it stretches out too much, the jess or the jesses will rip. So you have to check on them every few weeks to make sure that they won't rupture. Um, but I usually change Lookie's jesses every few months. Every few months. I think the last time I changed them, that would be at least 5 months ago. So my jesses stay good for a very long time. Oh, Tarlok says, you have Lucky on a line in the house. I don't do that. Do you think I should put Luna on a long line? When do you fly free in the house and when on a long line? Oh, that's okay, Tarlok. I normally don't put Lucky on a long line in the house either. I'm only doing it right now to prevent her from flying away from the camera all of the time, as some people um, complain when Lucky isn't in the video. Um, I don't always do this. Most of the time, I allow her to fly freely around the house, even if it makes the live stream a bit less interesting and cute. But today I just wanted, look at her. Today I just wanted to keep her with us. So don't worry if you don't put her on a long line in the house. It's not necessary at all. Just let Luna fly freely in the house. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing I would advise you is to not let her fly freely in the house for hours on end, as that can make her dominant. Just make her fly freely around the house for 30 minutes, and that's enough. It's enough to uh, you know it's enough for her to train her muscles, to feel free, feel less bored. But after 30 minutes, um, you should put her back on the perch, to prevent her from becoming territorial and dominant. Brianna says she saw a barn owl, burrowing owl a burrowing owl, yeah, and a great horned owl in the zoo. That's cool. Oh, Athena says, I've been meaning to draw owls more, and right now I'm thinking of making some fan art of you and Lucky. Would you appreciate that? Yeah, I would. I always appreciate fan art. I save all of the pictures that are sent to me on my hard drive because I don't want to lose the fan art. I love it. And what I would appreciate even more, but you don't have to feel obliged. And I don't know if you know how to do it, but I create T-shirts and sweaters and coffee mugs on viral style, right? Um, if someone would be able to make a nice drawing of Lucky or me and Lucky, um, but in the form of digital art, and if you guys could send me that, then I could use your art to put it on sweaters and t-shirts, to put it on the merchandise, and I think that would be really cool. um, so yeah, but I appreciate everything you guys send me, seriously. Victor OMG says, but some people keep them in a big shed. Well, if you mean, I think I know what you mean. It's an. I'm going to look up the official term because I think I know what you mean. Different owl enclosures. A mew. It's a mew, I think. Right? Mews. Yeah. I think what you mean, Victor OMG, is a mew. It's not really a shed, but it's a mew. Try to Google Mew, MEW. Um, if that is what you mean, then yes, it's okay to keep your raptor in such an enclosure, as long as it's made out of the material that is allowed by the local laws, and as long as you are respecting the legal dimensions. Brianna asks, I'm in Utah and I want a pet owl. How much money are they? She wants a barn owl. Well, barn owls can cost you from 50 euros, or, well, that's about $40, I think, up to 150 euros, which is, I don't know, uh,
Oh my days.
$270, $200. Um, Barn owls aren't that expensive, so um, yeah, in between 50 euros and 200 euros um, for a barn owl. Um, oh, Victor OMG asks, and would the size of all the equipment be different for all birds of prey? Sorry for so much questions. That's okay, Victor. Um, yes, the size of all of the equipment is different for all birds of prey. Um, Obviously, you can't put Lookie's anklets on a on an eagle owl because their legs and their talons and their feet are way bigger than a barn owl. So depending on the species, the size of the equipment will be very different. No, Brianna, I haven't seen the movie Guardians of Gaul. I should though when I've got the time, but I'm busy with so many things these days. I want to make YouTube videos, get back into hula hoop dancing, study Russian for when I recover from my eating disorder so that I can get a new job. I want to do so many things, so I've barely got time. Bunny asks, do you think she could get out of her chases? Do you mean anklets? No, I don't think she could. Um, well, it happens, but it has never happened to me. She has never gotten them off. Uh, but to be honest, I mean, it does happen that she gets frustrated and pulls her anklets and her jesses, but she doesn't do it a lot, luckily, because I would feel very sad if she would do that a lot, because it would be like a sign to me that she isn't happy and that she wants to be free all of the time. It doesn't bother her, but sometimes, she pulls them, but she doesn't do it so often that she's able to take them off. Looky, I was just telling people that you don't do this often, and now you're doing it all of the time. There are falconers who, instead of leather straps, use some kind of cord that is, um, how do you say this? I will look it up in Google Translate. Mhm. It's braided. So some falconers will, instead of leather straps, they will use some kind of cord that is braided in a certain way. And if you use those as jesses, then your owl might be able to bite the cord and to break free. So yes, in that case, it's way easier for an owl to just snap the cord in two with its beak. Amir Abuchai says, "Hi Elka, I love your videos. Keep it up." Hi Amir, welcome to this live stream. I've never seen you in a live stream before, so I'm guessing you're new. Welcome. Oh, and Tarlok, you are welcome for the advice. Xeno Gaming Fun asks, "Hey VH, hope you are doing okay. Just a quick question. What are the different places you put your owl in, from newborn owl to adult owl?" What do you mean by places? Do you mean the places I took her to, or the boxes in which I kept her in the beginning? What exactly do you mean? Because from the day I had her until she was 3 months old, I didn't take her anywhere, because you can't take your owl outside before it has all of its feathers. Otherwise, it might get sick. What are you doing, Lucky? Stop it. I think she's still preening herself, but so the first 3 months I didn't take her anywhere. Don't do that. The first 3 months I didn't take her anywhere, and the moment she had all of her feathers, I took her to the woods, local parks. I went for walks with her um, in my neighborhood where I lived, in busy city streets. I took her to, how do you say this? Just 1 second. Google Translate. That can be right. Oh, I took her to fairs, you know, where there are a lot of people so that she would get used to being around of a lot of people. I even took her to barbecues, where there were a lot of people invited. I went to falconry demonstrations with her so she could do her first demonstration. Um, oh, and after walks, I even visited cafes with her. Um, but that was only in summer if we could also sit outside, because um, most cafe owners don't like it if you take a bird or even just a dog inside because of hygiene, which I can completely understand. But in summer when we could sit outside, um, I would take her with me and she would just sit on my lap or on the chair I sat on, and she would just enjoy my company. Brianna asks, "And how do we send you fan art?" Well, whatever you want, you can send it to my email address or you can send it to my personal address. That depends what you prefer. Tarlok says, "I like the tea perch behind you. Where do I get one?" Um, Actually, um, it's not a real tea perch. I call it a tea perch, obviously, but it's a trestle. It's just a trestle, and I wrapped a towel around it. But usually, falconers wrap just astroturf around it, um, which is necessary to protect your owl's legs when it lands on the perch every time. Um, but you can just buy a cheap trestle or order it online and wrap some astroturf or a towel around it and then secure it with some straps, and then you have your tea perch. So you can keep it really cheap. Just be creative. Hi, Nature Bros 88. Oh, cool. Athena is willing to make something to be put on merch. She has a few ideas, but she needs to finish her current project first. That is a-okay. I'm so glad that you want to do that. Take your time. Amir asks, how long do you expect a healthy barn owl like Lucky to live? Hmm, about 10 to 15 years. 15 years would be pretty old already, but I hope that Lucky can become at least 10 years old. Yeah, barn owls become 15, maybe even 20 years old if you take really good care of them and if you are lucky. Oh, Alexander, that's so sweet of you. Okay, have a good night too. And I will tell my boyfriend, honey, Alexander wishes you a good night too.
Good night to him too.
He says good night to you too, Alexander. Hi, that's more. How are you doing? Mick Lee says a few of our owls use biothane instead of bread and leather. Instead of braid and leather. Biothane. I have to Google translate that. Biothane. What is that? It's the same in Dutch. So apparently I don't even know the Dutch word. Biothane. Oh, biothane. What does that look like? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be cool too.
De camera meer zien links.
Hmm?
Dat is niet in de camera.
Okay, my boyfriend is criticizing me. He's telling me that I should look into the camera more. I know, he's right, but sometimes I have to look things up and
Ja,
I
ja,
have to
dat
read
weet ik,
their
maar
questions.
ik weet het, dat is moeilijk. Sorry,
Oh,
ik hou van je.
he thinks he can do better than me.
Love you.
Love you too. Just kidding, guys. He's trying to help. Yuki. She's constantly preening herself.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, Brianna has got to go as well. Okay. Have a nice day or evening, Brianna. Detsmore says, good, I am so happy to see you live. Every time you go live, it makes me so happy. Recently, I had to go to the hospital because I got kicked out of my school for unexplained anxiety attacks and self harm. Oh, that's awful, Detsmore. I hope you're okay. Um, you should definitely get further help for that because there's probably something at the root of those problems. And if you find what is causing it, then the doctors can help you. So I'm glad that I can cheer you up a bit. Hi, Lebanese girl. Hi, Melita. Oh, Detsmore says he has been over and under eating and unexplained seizures. Aw. You just promised me one thing, Detsmore, that you are never going to give up. No matter how hard it gets, you will get through this. I have wanted to give up so many times when I was going through a crisis. Just a few days ago, I had a really bad anxiety attack at night, and I look like a crazy person when I go through it. I start crying hysterically. I'm not rational anymore. And then, when I was at my worst, I thought, I just want to die, blah, blah, blah. I said so many things that I didn't even mean, but it's just a cry for help. And it's just, I say those things because I'm really desperate when I get an anxiety attack because then I'm in so much pain. But the thing is, you are going to be okay. Um, Even though sometimes it seems like it will never be okay. I promise you, it will be okay, but sometimes those things need a lot of time. And that is no fun. We all wish we could just take a pill and be better, but unfortunately, mental issues aren't resolved, that easily. Um, it takes dedication and courage to get better and self knowledge, but you will get there. Oh, that's more sis. This has made my day. Well, now you've made my day because I have been. There were times where I wanted to make more videos about eating disorders and how to get over them, and about anxiety and all kinds of mental problems people can experience. Um, and then, I don't make the videos because I'm like, okay, people are here for Lucky, not for such videos. But whenever someone comments on a mental health video that it has made their day or that it has given them more strength to keep fighting, then that really keeps me going, to be honest. Oh, Melita, I did get your emails, but I haven't had time to read them yet today. Is it okay if I answer you tomorrow? Because it's super late here in Belgium. But I will answer them tomorrow, definitely. Oh, Lebanese girl says she bought a barn owl from 1 month old and is teaching it a lot of things that she watches in my videos. That's cool. Ah, my nail is stuck in my hair. Yeah, that's more. You're absolutely right. People need to understand eating disorders and anxiety. So that's kind of what I want to do in future videos, raise awareness. Xeno Gaming Fun asks, when your owl starts having feathers and is not really flying, in what box do you put her into? Well, those large plastic boxes with a lid on it, in which you can store your kids' toys? That kind of box. I will put a link in the chat of such boxes. Just a second. Maybe I should go to Amazon because I know they have those boxes there. Um, Storage boxes, maybe. Yep, I found them. Obviously, the size of the boxes is going to be very different, depending on the owl species that you want to have. Voila, I put the link to one of those boxes in the chat. So if you guys click on that, then you guys will know what I mean. Oh my God, Victor, that is so cute. For Victor, it's 11 p.m. and he has school tomorrow, and he is sneaking his phone under his pillow to watch me live. Oh no, I'm having a bad influence on the younger kids.
Younger.
That is so cute. It's okay, Victor. I won't tell anyone. Only the people in this live stream will know, What happens in the live stream stays in the live stream. Melita Awad asks, do you take Lucky to coffee shops? Well, we don't have coffee shops here in Belgium, actually. If you mean the Japanese owl coffee shops that they have in Japan, um, we don't have those here. Um, and we also have the other kind of coffee shop where they sell marijuana, etc. here in Belgium. You know, in the Netherlands, a coffee shop is a shop where they sell soft drugs legally. I think, yeah, in the Netherlands it's still legal, but here in Belgium we don't have those kind of coffee shops because it's not legal here to smoke weed. um, if you mean those kinds of coffee shops, then no, I don't take Lucky there, and I don't go there because I'm not interested in weed. If you mean a coffee shop like a place where you can drink coffee, then yes, I do sometimes in summer, but not in winter because I expect most cafe owners to say no to animals because of the hygiene, you know. If Lucky poops there inside, that would be embarrassing. Even if I clean it up, you know, it's not very attractive and appetizing for the other customers who are there. But it is okay, Melita, if you do. If the cafe or owners are fine with it, then there is no problem at all. And if it's legal in your country to take your owl into public places like that, then it's a okay. It's even a very good thing that your owl is so social that you can take it to those kinds of places. So good job. Thank you, Mick Lee, for explaining. So Mick told us that um, where he lives, falconers don't only use leather to create jesses and anklets, um, but also biothane, which is a coated webbing that is used in making dog collars and many other products in the medical field. It is weather and abrasion resistant, has a nice natural finish that looks like leather. So thank you for explaining, Nick. Lebanese girl says, from where are you in Lebanon? In the place I live, people don't accept the idea of having an owl in my house. Well, here in Belgium, is it's not that common either. There are a lot of people who are judgmental about it because they don't know anything about falconry and they think it's animal abuse. But if you invite them to your house and you show them what kind of bond you have with your owl, then they will quickly change their minds. Well, most of them. There will always be people who stick to their opinion, which is completely their prerogative, you know. Um, but it's the same here in Belgium, you know. Loki is falling asleep. I'm just going to drink, you guys. I am drinking some lime juice with some sparkling water. It tastes like a real mojito, but it's not. There's no alcohol in it, no sugar either. Just sparkling water and lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. It's really good and it's very hydrating because it's super hot here in Belgium. Victor OMG says, in my country, to own a bird of prey, you have to have several paperwork, and also you need to tell which exotic animal you're having, because animals like cheetahs are illegal, I think, even with paperwork. That's normal. Like in my country, in Belgium, we also have to do a lot of paperwork when we want a bird of prey. It's not like here in Belgium you can just buy one and it's okay. You have to have CITES documents. I'll write it down in the chats. It's oops, CITES documents. And the CITES documents, it's a yellow paper, and it's a European transport document, which allows you to travel with your owl through Europe in a legal way. And you should always carry this with you when you are transporting your owl. Hi, Marco. Greetings from Italy, he says. Cool. I suppose it's also super hot where you are, Marco. Let's see if I can tell you guys other interesting things. Oh, Marco is from Sardinia. That's cool. Me and my boyfriend want to go on vacation to Italy sometime. We're waiting until we have enough savings to go.
Ik heb al veel.
What did you
Ik
say?
heb er al veel geweest.
What?
Ik heb al heel veel daar geweest.
Oh, my boyfriend says he's been a lot in Italy. Melita, are you asking me this question, or are you asking the Lebanese girl? Because Melita asks, please, can you remind me of your name? Okay, my real name is Elke. I'll write it down. Elke. Marco says Italy is a beautiful place, or Sardinia, where he lives. Not so for the politicians of the moment, but grosse Traumerin. Träumerin. Hi. She asks, why are you not sleeping yet? It's pretty late and Lucky is cute as always. Yeah, she's being super cute right now. Well, I'm not sleeping yet because I wanted to make you guys happy with the live stream. And I accompanied my boyfriend as we brought our plus daughter back to her mother. And I normally live stream when he drives her back. But this time I decided to join him so that he wouldn't have to drive alone. And that's why I'm only live streaming now. I am pretty tired though, but I'll end the live stream in just a few minutes. Melita asks, Elke, my owl takes her bath alone. Is it good? Oh, alone. Well, the thing is, I learned in falconry training that it's best not to leave your owl unsupervised if you are giving it a bath, but I don't think your owl would actually drown, but I must say it can happen. Apparently, it can even happen in just a small bottom of water. Don't ask me why, because I can't imagine that my owl would drown, but I have never taken the risk. So if you give it an if you give your owl a bath, Melita, like how deep is the water, and is your owl still tethered to a perch, or is it completely free in your house as it is taking the bath? I mean, if it's still tethered to a perch, then I would advise you to not leave it alone. Because if it's tethered to something, it can get strangled, or it can get caught up in its long lace. But if it's not tethered to anything, then I don't think your owl is in any danger. But in theory, it can happen. Jack Smith asks, how bad do you smell? What kind of question is that? I don't smell bad. Oh, Jack was joking. Okay. Wow, I don't know what to say anymore. Yes, Jack, it's nighttime over here. It's 12 it's a quarter over 12 p.m. Or should I say a.m. already? p.m., I think. Okay, Melita, if your owl is free when she takes a bath, then I don't think there is a problem with it. Oh, cool, Jack. It's still afternoon where you are. That's cool. Okay, Melita, and if it's a small quantity of water in the bath, then there shouldn't be a problem. So it's okay. Tell us, does your owl like to wet itself completely when it's taking a bath? Or is your owl like Lucky? Because Lucky doesn't like to get wet. She will just stand in the tub, and she'll sip from the water occasionally. She'll clean her beak, but she's never completely wet. She hates it. Okay, guys, until I get some new questions, I'll tell you guys something else that's really interesting. So I titled this live stream, What Never to Do If You're Taking Care of an Owl. So, another really interesting thing that you should know to keep your owl alive is um, you guys probably know that I keep Lucky on a regular perch. So it's a bow perch, and it's a small perch. It's not very high. It's not like this one. This is a flying perch. It's a T perch to train your bird. Um, so I normally only use this when I'm flying Lucky. But I just wanted to say, never put your bird on a high perch like this if you're not staying with your bird. So I can put Lucky on this perch in the garden, for example, but only if I'm also sitting in the garden. Why, you might ask? Well, it's really simple. If you tether your owl to a high perch and it flies off, then it can be left hanging upside down. And if your owl doesn't can't get back on the perch itself, then all of the blood will go to the owl's head, and after a few minutes it will die. So this is why you should never ever put your bird on a high perch. You should never put it on a high perch tethered because then if it flies off and it hangs upside down, um, you can't, I mean, if you're not there to help it up, then your owl will end up dead. And this is something, it's so logical, but I wouldn't have thought of it myself if my mentor wouldn't have told me this. So I thought I would share it with you guys. Victor OMG asks, what would you feed baby prey birds? Would they all eat meat? Yes, Victor, most um, birds of prey eat meat. They only eat the meat of one-day-old chicks, rice, and rats, and smaller birds. Some species also eat insects or fish, but it depends on the species. Hi Trish, welcome to the live stream. Hi Nicholas Hamilton. This is the first time you have joined us, right? I was waiting for you to come live with us. I'm so glad you're here, Nicholas. Hi Marin. Yeah, Lucky is cute, right? She's standing on one leg right now. It's so funny. Um, so Victor, yes, a baby eagle would eat fish because they do so in the wild, but most falconers give their eagles one-day-old chicks as well. So you can give certain species that would normally eat fish in the wild also one-day-old chicks. Um, So that's the only exception where you can switch up the bird's diet. Um, so, Victor, I've explained this in previous live streams, but I will explain it again just for you. Um, what you're going to give your bird of prey really depends on what age it is. If it's still a baby owl, for example, then you can only give the organs of the one-day-old chick, the rat or the mouse, and you can only give the meat without the hair and the bones. So the 21st days an owl is alive, it is not able to produce pellets yet. And as you guys know, owls can't digest any hair or bones, so they regurgitate it in the form of a pellet. But as owlets can't produce pellets yet, you can't give them any hair or bones yet, the 21st days of their life. After 21 days, you can slowly start to introduce pieces of meat with a bit of hair on it or a small bone in it. Um, and from there on, you'll just increase the hair and the bones as they will regurgitate it in the form of a pellet. So, yeah, the first 21 days of feeding your owlet will be you cutting open rats, mice, baby mice, and one-day-old chicks and getting out the guts and, getting out all of the organs and cutting the flesh from the hair and the bones, which is a bit nasty, to be honest, but it has to be done. Jane Naylor asks, has Lucky ever fallen off of her perch when asleep? No, she hasn't, but it would be hilarious if she would do that. No, she hasn't. Maria says, cuties. Thanks, Maria. Marco says, Speaking of Italy, there some place I can go to learn if I can follow a course of owl falconry here? Because the only teachers I found do only courses about eagles and similar. I wouldn't know, Marco. I don't know if there are any falconers who also teach about owls. Is it possible then that it's illegal to have an owl in Italy? Because that could be the reason that the falconers only teach about eagles. That could be the reason. In some countries it is allowed to keep eagles, for example, but not owls. It's not allowed in every country. Hi, Tetra Miller. Nicholas. Nicholas says, "Hello, sweet Lucky. What's going through Lucky's mind today? Maybe Lucky is observing." Well, Lucky has something new. Um, I put her transport box, in which I transport her when we are traveling by car. I put her transport box next to her perch. And a few days ago, she started um, sitting in the box when she's just sitting in on her perch. So she's she's using the transport box as her little home. It is so cute. I will definitely film it for you guys and make a video about it because it's something cute, and she never did this before. But I'm allowing her to do so because there's nothing wrong with it, and if she feels comfortable there, then I'm glad that I can give that to her. Oh, Victor OMG says, "I want a golden eagle so bad, but I'm only 12." Well, make sure you do well at school, and then you can get a falconry. Then you can become a falconry apprentice, and then later you can own an eagle owl if you get the falconry education. No worries. Go for your dreams. Oh, Marco says that he doesn't think it's illegal to own an owl in Italy because he found eggs of the European owl on sale. Um, but, was it legal, Marco? Because, owls are sold illegally all of the time. And, normally people don't sell eggs. Um, Breeders will breed with their owls and they will wait until the eggs hatch and then they will sell the owlets. But I've never heard of people dealing in owl eggs. I don't think that is legal. But you are right when you say that it would be rather stupid to buy an owl so big without somebody that teaches you how to take care of it. Um, yeah, that would be stupid. Victor OMG asks, "Who's the person who teaches you about bird of prey?" Well, my mentor is called Ludo. Ludo. I'll write his name here. It's a Dutch name, so he's called Ludo, and he has appeared in some of my videos. Um, I met him at work, to be honest, and he told me about his hobby. I told him I wanted a dog, and he was like, "Oh, but why don't you get an owl? That is so much easier." And I was like, "What? Are you crazy?" And he invited me at his house, and I came to study falconry with him. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to end this live stream because it's very, very late here in Belgium and I need to get some sleep because otherwise I will feel awful tomorrow and I don't want that. So, thank you guys for joining me in this live stream. I hope it wasn't too boring or anything. And thank you for your questions. And I will prepare something for the next live stream so that if you guys don't have any questions anymore, that I can still inform you guys about anything basically, anything that has to do with falconry. Oh, Marco says nice live, VH. Thanks. I was kind of worried that this live stream was rather boring because I didn't know what to say when people weren't asking questions. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams to you too, Jane, whenever it's night for you. Okay, and Melita, I will answer your email tomorrow. I promise. Bye, Nicholas. Okay, bye, guys. Sleep tight, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow in the next live stream after I have answered Melita's um, email. I will do that first, and then I will come live. Bye. Oh, I didn't end. Oh, yeah. Okay.